Good morning from the National Weather Service here in Pocatello. My name is Carter, and this is your Southeast Idaho weather hazard briefing for Friday, October 21st. Got some widespread rain and snow moving into the area, gusty winds, and a major cool down. A lot to get through. Let's get started. Key points we're going to focus on today. Do have a significant pattern change coming in for your weekend. A weak polar vortex up north in the Arctic Circle will bring our first cold air outbreak of the season, seeing much colder temperatures, below normal by about 15 degrees in some places as we get towards early part of next week. So we're seeing some widespread rain and snow, which could be locally heavy at times, especially into the mountains with heavy snow, with gusty winds up to 30 to 50 miles an hour as we get through the weekend. We do have winter storm warnings and wind advisories in effect. Those winter storm warnings will be in effect for later part of today and kind of progressing as the storm moves in from northwest to southeast throughout the event, with accumulations anywhere from 2 to 6 inches below 7,000 feet, all the way to about 8 to 14 as you get up above 7,000. So we're talking up towards Galena higher, seeing that potential for 8 to 14 inches. Locally higher amounts, generally as you get up above 9,000, we're talking right along those ridge lines, highest summits, could see anywhere up to 14 to 24 inches above 9,000 feet. And we're looking at the time frame on that will be starting tonight through midday Sunday, and we have a break in activity arriving late in the day Sunday, early Monday. For the wind advisory, we're going to have southwest winds 20 to 35 miles an hour with gusts up to 50. So that'll be main area again for the time frame this afternoon and evening. So we'll see some continued breezy winds throughout the weekend. We also have a lake wind advisory in effect as well for the American Falls Reservoir with slightly less strong winds, but certainly still breezy for some boating concerns. Again, that break in precipitation arrives late in the day Sunday into Monday, so we'll see that main wave of precipitation move in today, having locally heavy at times. Things start to clear out for the later part of Saturday, shifting into the mountains before one final push of moisture works in for your Sunday, and things do clear out later in the day on Sunday. Take a look at satellite this morning. You do have some partly cloudy skies, and as you look further to our northwest, that's going to be the outer bands of clouds from our next system moving in. It will be very cloudy this weekend, so as far as getting out there and enjoy the sunshine today, it'll be very overcast this weekend. Midlet of water vapor, so you can see this atmospheric river that's currently formed across the Pacific Ocean. This will be moving right into Idaho, so you can see it's headed right into the Pacific Northwest this morning, and as this deep trough digs into our area over the weekend, seeing much colder temperatures working all the way down from Alaska and the Arctic Circle, working into our area as well, bringing sufficient moisture from the Pacific Ocean, some widespread rain and snow. Weather risk outlook for the next 5 days. First 3 are going to be fairly busy. Got some breezy wind potential over the next few days. And as we get through the later part of the weekend especially, you're going to see that rain and snow start to work in with winter storm warnings in effect for the high country. Main impacts for this, again, for those high accumulations, is going to be above 7,000 feet. We're not looking at a whole lot of valley snowfall with this event, but it's going to be a very impactful mountain snow. So, as far as the snow levels will be fluctuating throughout the day on Saturday, but they will be at valley floors as we get towards Sunday. You can see that rain and snow chance is now for everyone on Sunday. Best chances for the Snake Plain, Magic Valley for some light snow will be on Sunday, so overnight Saturday into Sunday. And as we get towards the later part of Sunday, precipitation will shift to our east as our system departs into the Great Plains. For Monday and Tuesday, we do have that slight break Sunday into Monday, but as we get towards Monday and then Tuesday, do that chance for some PM rain showers, so afternoon rain and snow starting to work back in for the later part of Monday into Tuesday, and that chances for rain and snow do continue through midweek, so keeping with that cold and active weather pattern as we round out October. Watches, warnings, and advisories currently in effect. So do the wind advisory in effect for the Snake Plain, lake wind down there for the American Falls. And you can see the winter storm warnings in effect for the Central Mountains, up through the Big Holes, Centennials, and along the Caribou Range. Again, this is an event for above 7,000 feet. Below that, we will see some accumulations, but that winter storm impacts will be in the high country. So outside of our area, we do have some fire weather impacts. So even in the furthest southeast corner of the state today, not going to be seeing a whole lot of precip. Precip will be working northwest to southeast today, and with those gusty wind potential, it'll be fairly strong winds across the Snake Plain this afternoon. But those winds do spread out into Nevada, Wyoming, and Utah as well, where there is an elevated to critical fire weather concern today. So let's break down the precipitation timing. So as we get towards this afternoon, things will start off your day mostly dry. See some increasing clouds coming down from your northwest. But as we get towards this afternoon, start to see those showers and storms begin to work into our area. So we're not looking at, anything as far as too strong in the beginning. But as we get towards 6 o'clock, start to see that mountain snow starting to work in up towards Island Park, Stanley, and Chalice. And by 9 o'clock tonight, it's going to be widespread rain and snow in the North Country. As you head further southeast, as that precipitation will overspread, you can start to make out a cold front along the line that's stretching here between Rexburg, Shoshone, zone, mountain home, it's going to be where the heaviest precipitation is. So behind this cold front, much colder temperatures as expected, gusty winds, and strong as far as heavy precipitation amounts embedded in that main line. So as we take you to 3 a.m. tomorrow, we're looking at widespread rain and snow. Best chances for tomorrow morning are going to be on the eastern side of the Snake Plain, especially as you get up towards the Magic Valley, western Idaho, as snow continues in the mountains. As we take you to 6 a.m. tomorrow, it's going to be very heavy rain to start off today in some portions of the Magic Valley, currently on the HER as far as that goes. But as far as, seeing the snow potential continuing in the mountains, it's going to be a long-duration snow event. We're talking 48-hour storm totals, so certainly an impactful snow event in the mountains. But as we take you through the remainder of the morning hours, precipitation will shift further east. So after that main shot in the morning, things will start to break up for your afternoon, especially across the Snake Plain. But as we are at noontime tomorrow, snow and rain, low-elevation rain and high-elevation snow will shift into the mountains, and as the system pulls further east, bringing cold air with it, we will see those colder temperatures fall as far as working its way up and over the Continental Divide, and snow levels will fall to valley floors for everyone by Sunday morning. So any precipitation that's still around for your Sunday morning, that'll be all snow. High temperatures and wind gusts today, so afternoon highs will be in the upper 50s to near 70 degrees as you get further south, with afternoon wind gusts between 25 to 50 miles an hour, strongest across the Snake Plain and eastern highlands. Temperatures for your Saturday, going to start the day off in the 30s and 40s, teens over there in Stanley. But outside of that, afternoon highs, we'll be seeing much cooler temperatures, back into the mid-40s to low 50s. Wind gusts on Saturday, so this will be mostly coinciding with that cold front working through. We were talking about that heavy precipitation, moderate to heavy precipitation embedded in that main line of rain and snow coming through. And with that, we will see some wind potential. So, we will have the gusty winds today, but those winds will remain elevated overnight, especially as this cold front begins to work through into our area. So for your Saturday, wind gusts, again, up to about 40, 50 miles an hour as you get out towards the Bear River Range. Temperatures for your Sunday, going to start the day off just about freezing for everybody. So we're talking about that valley flood, valley snowfall potential. Everyone will be at or below freezing for Sunday morning. And by the afternoon, temperatures will struggle to rise. Maybe we'll get about 10, 20, 30 degrees as you get up towards Stanley. But outside of that, highs will be in the upper 30s to mid 40s. Wind gusts on Sunday, slightly less from what we saw Friday, Saturday. Certainly still pretty breezy as you get out towards the Magic Valley and along the Continental Divide. So I have this westerly and northerly competing flow. So on Sunday, we could see a convergence band set up in some portions of the Snake Plain as these northerly winds are competing with westerly, southwesterly flow, and could see some additional snowfall accumulations here. But accumulations again across the Snake Plain are going to stay fairly light with this event. Here's those weekend totals. This is going to be breaking down for you through tonight and through the end of Sunday. So snowfall accumulations across the Snake Plain, not looking at a whole lot, still about less than an inch. As you get to the high country just outside of the Snake Plain, generally about 2 to 6 inches in the lower elevations. And as you get up high, 6, 12, 14, and locally higher gusts. As far as accumulations, in excess of 14 to 24 inches. You look at the Tetons there, it's a pretty impressive snowfall for the weekend, in excess of 2 feet in some places in the high country. And that QPF translates well. So this is rain and liquid equivalent. So we're seeing some widespread QPF anywhere between a 1/4 inch to about a 1/2 inch, almost 3/4 as you get down towards Pocatello. But those totals in the mountains would be certainly welcomed. Up towards Salmon, almost an inch on the Moose Fire, 1.5 inches up towards Stanley, and almost 2 inches as you get out towards the eastern highlands, about 1.5 inches in the Driggs area. Snowfall probabilities for this event, so they have trended slightly down over yesterday for that percent chance of 1 inch or more in the Snake Plain, but still could certainly see that on the eastern benches especially. But outside of downtown snow accumulations, the ground will be fairly saturated and quite warm, so something to keep in mind. Not going to see a whole lot of snow in the lower elevations with this event, but as you get outside the Snake Plain, certainly something to keep in mind. 4 inches or more, those chances are going to continue to move into the higher terrain. And you kind of see where we have our warnings in effect is going to be mirroring that, chance for 4 inches or more. And we're highlighting, Bear River Range up through the Caribou, Centennial, Tetons, and as you get through the Central Mountains as well. 8 inches or more. So again, keeping that potential going, that high elevation snow event, it's going to be an impactful event this weekend. So certainly something to keep in mind as you're headed into the high country. And 12 inches or more, again, best chances will be kind of predominantly north across the forecast area, up through the Tetons and Central Mountains, and further north, just north of Island Park. Temperatures for your Monday, so we can have that break in precipitation arriving late in the day on Sunday, but Monday will start things off a little bit cool in the as far as teens and 20s for just about everybody, some single digits to below and above zero in some of our mountain basins. But by the afternoon, we'll be back into the 30s to mid 40s, seeing some 50s starting to sneak back into the Magic Valley. And for your Tuesday, much of the same. We're going to have those temperatures fairly stabilized for next week. So we're looking at low temperatures each morning at or below freezing. And then during the afternoon, temperatures, upper 30s to near 50 degrees each afternoon. In summary this morning, do you have that significant pattern change on the way for your weekend? Winter storm warnings and wind advisories are in effect. Going to be seeing that precip working in later part of today with some strong gusty winds as a cold front descends through the early morning hours, with a break in precipitation arriving later in the day Saturday, with things becoming more scattered and isolated as we get towards the later part of Sunday into Monday. Clearing skies Monday morning, going to bring some very cold temperatures, and we'll see some continued active weather continuing into your next week. But that wraps up your weather briefing for today, Friday, October 21st. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please feel free to send us an email, give us a call, or check out some information on our website. Have an awesome weekend and stay safe out there.